Bob, what stage should a person contact an attorney when buying or selling a home?
Yeah, that's an interesting question, Jason. And let me tell you actually what happens versus what probably should happen. What happens is that a buyer or a seller, let's take a buyer for instance, maybe walking along the street and see a for sale sign on a property, call up their spouse, uh, say, let's look at this house, call up the broker. Broker gets them access to the house. They look around. All of a sudden, they're falling in love with this property. They're making offers. The broker usually introduces them maybe to a mortgage broker to see if they can be pre-qualified to buy the place. Maybe the broker also introduces them to a home inspector to make sure that the house is structurally sound. And then they say, do you have an attorney? When really, probably the situation should be a little bit reversed. A person should probably, a prospective buyer or seller, should probably consult with an attorney early on in the process once they decide that they're going to buy or sell. The attorney can advise them on the legal relationship that they will end up having with the broker. Many people don't realize that when you approach a broker and make an offer on a house, all of a sudden you are in a legal relationship with that person. They have to disclose and do certain things for you. You have to also live up to some of your obligations. In other words, continue with the purchase or the sale of the property with that broker that you first approach. There are also tax ramifications involved, and although many lawyers are reluctant to talk about tax ramifications, many times lawyers say, you should also talk to your CPA about what type of ramifications either the purchase or the sale of a property are. The attorney can also give you a little bit of overview how the whole process works and the time frames and the contingencies. Many times a client will come in to me once they found a property they want to buy, and they're surprised when I tell them, it could take about 3 months in New York to close on a property. It'll probably cost you a couple thousand to tens of thousands of dollars more in expenses and taxes to buy the property. Some of the rights they have in terms of either selling or buying their property. And I find most of the time when I talk to the clients, after I've met them, after they've already made an offer on the house, they're surprised at some of the information that I tell them. This surprise should not be part of probably one of the biggest purchases or sale decisions of your life. So it's probably prudent if you're deciding to sell or buy a property to speak to an attorney early on in the process so you get a better view, and maybe that attorney can give you some tips or hints on how to make it most efficient and to your benefit. And that's when you should start engaging an attorney if you're buying or selling a house, Jason.